Summer 1955. Hollywood. A private party in a Beverly Hills mansion. A 16-year-old girl walks out of a bedroom. Her dress is torn. Mascara runs down her face. She walks holding onto the wall for support. Downstairs, the party continues. Laughter, music, champagne. Nobody notices anything. She finds her mother in the crowd of guests, grabs her hand, whispers something in her ear. Her mother goes pale, looks up at the closed bedroom door, then looks at her daughter, and says 4 words that will destroy this girl's life forever. Not a word to anyone, ever. This girl is Natalie Wood, future star of Rebel Without a Cause and West Side Story, one of Hollywood's most beautiful actresses. And the man in that bedroom is one of the most powerful actors of the era. A man whose name hung on every billboard, an idol to millions. The rape of a 16-year-old girl, a mother who forced silence, a career built on trauma, and a death in the cold ocean waters 26 years later. What if I told you that Natalie Wood didn't drown by accident? What if her death in 1981 was connected to that night in 1955? What if she finally decided to speak out, and someone decided it was time to silence her forever? Friends, what you're about to hear is Hollywood's darkest secret. A story about how the industry sacrifices children for money, how mothers sell their daughters for roles, how predators in tuxedos hunt minors. YouTube doesn't want you to know this. Only your support helps us speak the truth. Right now, hit subscribe and like this video. It's a signal that you're ready to hear what others are afraid to say. Done? Thank you. Let's begin. To understand what happened that night, you need to understand who Natalie Wood's mother was. Maria Stepanovna Gurdin, a Russian immigrant, a woman with one obsession: make her daughter a star at any cost. She wasn't just a stage mom, as they're called in Hollywood. She was a fanatic, possessed. She believed in a fortune teller's prediction that her daughter would become great but die in dark water. Natalie N., born Natalia Nikolaevna Zakharenko N., started acting at age 4. Maria dragged her to auditions every single day, made her smile even when the child cried from exhaustion. At 8 years old, Natalie played a girl who believes in Santa Claus in Miracle on 34th Street. America fell in love with this dark-haired little girl with enormous eyes. But behind the camera, Maria was a monster. She controlled every minute of her daughter's life, read her diaries, chose her friends, decided who Natalie could talk to on set. "You're my investment," she told her daughter, "and I won't let you disappoint me." By age 16, Natalie Wood was recognized across the country. But she wasn't a child. She was a product, merchandise, an asset that her mother planned to sell for as much as possible. And in the summer of 1955, an opportunity arose to make the biggest deal yet. Natalie was invited to a party. Private, elite. Producers, directors, stars would be there. Maria made her daughter wear an adult dress, put makeup on her like a grown woman, and said, "Smile at everyone. Be nice. This is your chance for a big role." A 16-year-old girl went to the party, and her mother stayed downstairs, drinking champagne with producers. Friends, how many mothers in Hollywood do you think sell their children for fame? How many children have been raped while their parents pretended nothing was happening? Write in the comments whether you believe this is possible, or if it's just conspiracy theory. What exactly happened in that bedroom, we only know from Natalie's own words. She told 3 people during her lifetime: her sister Lana, an actress friend, and her psychotherapist. All 3 versions match. A famous actor, a man over 40, married, father of a family, Hollywood idol, invited her upstairs to Look at his art collection. 16-year-old Natalie, raised by her mother to be obedient and polite to powerful people, agreed. In the bedroom, he locked the door, offered her a drink. She refused. He insisted. "Don't be a child, you want to seem grown up, don't you?" She took one sip. He filled the glass again. The room started spinning. "I want to go downstairs," she said. "It's too early," he replied, and pushed her onto the bed. She tried to resist. He was twice as strong. He told her, "Stop being a silly girl. All stars start this way. Your mother knows this. Why do you think she let you come upstairs?" The rape lasted about 20 minutes. She screamed. Nobody came. Loud music played downstairs. When it was over, he stood up, straightened his tie, and said, "Now you're a real actress. Welcome to Hollywood." Natalie went downstairs, found her mother, told her what happened. And here's where the most horrifying part begins. Maria didn't call the police, didn't make a scene, didn't hit the rapist. She looked at her daughter with cold eyes and said, "Not a word to anyone. This will destroy your career. This will destroy us." "But Mom, he raped me," Natalie whispered. "Shut up. If you tell anyone, you'll lose everything. They'll call you a liar, a slut. You'll never be cast in movies again. Understand?" The 16-year-old girl nodded. "Good. Now smile. You have an audition in a week." Natalie Wood followed her mother's orders. She didn't tell anyone, officially. But trauma doesn't disappear when you stay silent. It eats you from the inside, like acid. A year after the rape, in 1956, Natalie got the role in Rebel Without a Cause with James Dean. She played a troubled teenage girl searching for love. On set, director Nicholas Ray noticed something was wrong with Natalie. She was too serious for 17, too sad. He asked if everything was all right.
"Everything's perfect," she smiled. The way her mother taught her. But at night, she couldn't sleep. She was afraid of closed rooms. Afraid to be alone with men. Afraid of parties. And Maria kept dragging her to those damn parties. "You need to be visible. You need connections." Natalie started drinking. At 18, she was already a functioning alcoholic. The only way to silence the memories. In 1957, she attempted suicide. Overdosed on pills. Her mother found her in time, called a private doctor, and covered it all up. No hospitals. No publicity. "You're selfish," Maria told her daughter when she came to. "After everything I've done for you." Natalie was 19 years old. That same year, she married actor Robert Wagner. Handsome, successful, 8 years older. Maria approved. "Good match. This will raise your status." Natalie hoped marriage would save her, that she could escape from her mother, from the memories, from Hollywood. But on their wedding night, when Wagner touched her, she started screaming. Panic attacks, flashbacks. She couldn't explain to him what had happened. Her mother forbade it. Not a word to anyone. The marriage lasted 4 years and ended in divorce. Wagner didn't understand why his beautiful young wife was cold in bed and drank herself unconscious every night. And Natalie continued to stay silent. The 1960s became the peak of Natalie Wood's career. Splendor in the Grass, West Side Story, Love with the Proper Stranger. She was nominated for an Oscar 3 times. America saw a brilliant star. Nobody saw the destroyed woman behind the mask. Natalie lived on pills. Antidepressants, sleeping pills, stimulants to wake up, sedatives to fall asleep. A cocktail of medications that helped her function. She started seeing a psychoanalyst, tried to work through the trauma. But every time she approached the truth, her mother's voice sounded in her head. Not a word to anyone. In 1969, she remarried Robert Wagner. Attempt number 2. Maybe this time it would work? They had 2 daughters. Natalie tried to be a good mother. Not like Maria.
She vowed never to force her children into movies. But the trauma wouldn't let go. She continued drinking. Arguments with Wagner became increasingly violent. In 1981, during the filming of Brainstorm, something happened that changed everything. Actor Christopher Walken, who was in the film, befriended Natalie. They talked a lot between takes. He was sensitive, intellectual. They discussed art, literature, life. And one day Natalie told him something. Something about what happened to her at 16. Walken was shocked. "You need to go public with this. This man needs to be held accountable." "I can't," Natalie replied. "My mother." "Your mother? Natalie, you're 43 years old. You're free." This was the first time anyone told her she could speak out. And Natalie started thinking, maybe it's time? She called a lawyer. Asked what would happen if she came forward with accusations against a famous actor 26 years later. The lawyer said, "It will be difficult. But if you have witnesses..." "I have my mother," said Natalie. "Then there's a chance." Natalie decided she would write a memoir. Tell the truth, the whole truth, about the rapist, about her pimp mother, about Hollywood that protects predators. She scheduled a meeting with a publisher for December 1981. She didn't live to see that meeting. Friends, do you think it's a coincidence that Natalie Wood died exactly when she decided to speak out? Or did someone learn about her plans and decide to silence her forever? Write your theory in the comments. November 29th, 1981. Thanksgiving weekend. Natalie Wood, her husband Robert Wagner, and Christopher Walken are spending the holiday on the yacht Splendor off Catalina Island. The atmosphere is tense. Wagner is jealous of his wife and Walken. They drink heavily at dinner. An argument begins. Yacht Captain Dennis DeVerne hears shouting from the cabin. Wagner yells at Natalie, "You want to fuck him? Fuck him right here." Natalie is crying. Walken tries to calm the situation. At 11 p.m., the argument dies down. Wagner comes out on deck and tells the captain, Natalie went to bed. But at midnight, the captain notices that the inflatable dinghy tied to the yacht has disappeared, and Natalie isn't on board. Wagner says, "She probably swam to shore. Don't worry." The captain is shocked. How did she swim? She's terrified of water. This is true. Natalie Wood suffered from aquaphobia, a deadly fear of water. After the fortune teller's prediction, she never swam alone. But Wagner doesn't call the Coast Guard. He waits. 2 hours. Only at 1:30 a.m. does he finally call police. "My wife is missing." On the morning of November 30, Natalie Wood's body is found floating a kilometer from the yacht. She's dead, drowned, bruises and scratches on her body. Official version, accidental death. Natalie tried to climb into the dinghy, slipped and fell into the water. Being drunk and wearing a heavy jacket, she couldn't swim out. But Captain Dennis DeVerne doesn't believe it. He tells police, "Something's wrong. Wagner acted strange. He didn't want to search for her." Police ignore him. Case closed. It's been 43 years since Natalie Wood's death. In 2011, the case was reopened. New evidence, new questions. The yacht captain gave an interview and said, "Robert Wagner knows what happened that night. He was there." The coroner changed the ruling from accidental death to drowning under suspicious circumstances. But Wagner was never charged, never tried. He refused to testify. And the name of the rapist who assaulted Natalie at 16 was never publicly named. Natalie's mother died, taking the secret to her grave. Natalie herself didn't get to tell. But in 2020, Natalie's sister Lana Wood published a memoir. And in that book, she named the name. Kirk Douglas, father of Michael Douglas, Hollywood legend, star of Spartacus and Paths of Glory. a man who died in 2020 at age 103, never having faced justice. Lana wrote, "My sister told me what happened when she was 16. She said the name, but our mother forced us both to stay silent. Now I'm breaking the silence." Natalie Wood's story isn't just a story about one actress. It's a story about how Hollywood devours children, how mothers become pimps, how predators remain unpunished. Natalie Wood wanted to be an actress. Instead, she became a victim. Twice. Once at 16. The second time at 43. The first time she was raped by a Hollywood idol. The second time she was killed by silence. And the fortune teller's prediction came true. She died in dark water. But not from an accident. She drowned in the ocean of lies that Hollywood created.